Hey, what's cracking? How are you doing today? I hope this video finds you doing well. I always say I hope it finds you on top of the world. If you're watching on the same day I put these videos up, it's a Friday. It's about 6:30 in the morning when I'm making this. We got roosters crowing and dogs barking and the birds are singing, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. But I wanted to come out and make this video. My wife's asleep in the room where I usually make them, so I know I was up all night, and I figure when I go to sleep, I'll sleep a good part of the day away. I've got my days and nights turned around. And the dreams do it, man. I'm going to jump right back into my story in a minute, but I hope today that you've chose to pick up your blessings. Hope today you get up and look around and think about all the things you have and none of the things you don't. I hope you have a great day. And if this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, my name's Ricky Dye, and I went to prison when I was 15 years old, and I was there for 20 years, 5 months, 29 days. And we can't go back and change anything from the past. But what I've been trying to do is I've been making these videos, and I started at the very beginning with what happened with my crime and being in the juvenile center and going to a prison with adults. And I've started at the beginning, and I've been working my way all the way through. It's pretty much one long story, but I try to tell a story in each one so each video can stand on its own. I know people have videos, have a life, and jobs, and they can't just sit and watch videos for hours sometimes. So try to keep them between 15 and 30 minutes. If that interests you, appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It really helped me out. For everybody that's already hit it, thank you so much, man. For you guys that share the videos on Facebook when I put them up, I really appreciate that. For all the people who have got in the comments and made comments and shown that people are interested in the videos, that really helps me out. You guys that are always in the comments. I want to thank again John Doe. I call him John Doe because that's the way I met him. His name is Roger Williams, and he's a real good guy, and he's really become a good friend of mine. And I told him if someday I do get famous, I'm not famous, but if someday I do get famous, I'm going to take him with me. And he just sent some more money to support the channel. He does that every so often. I told him I was on restriction, and he sent it anyway. So I really do appreciate that, Roger. It did help me out, but you're on restriction again for a little while. I really appreciate it, man. But, you know, this channel is not about money for me. I never ask anyone for money. If someone decides to send some money to support the channel, I appreciate it. Never ask for that. My videos, I'll never ask people for money. So I want to get right back into my story. If you've been keeping up, I'm back at Lexington for the second time. And me and Dave have went around and gotten debt to all the killers on the yard for all their drugs. People who wouldn't give it to us on credit, we've went and borrowed cash money from people and promised them cash money back, knowing we had no cash money coming back. Thinking we're going to take this money we've saved up and we're going to get us some dope and pay everybody off at one time. But if you've ever been in a drug deal, things don't happen and work out like that. And we've done shot our shot a couple times and it didn't work out. Me and Dave, we're still in the hole. And I want to say right now, to take this opportunity, that I'm telling you this specific story. But I want you to know that when I went to prison as a kid, I'd never done drugs in my life, never even smoked a cigarette. But guys in prison don't have family members, guys that's going to be there a long time. Sorry, there's a big old mosquito, but I got them. So they go around to young kids when they see that you get money in. If you think you're going to go to prison, have your family send you enough money to get you some stamps and some hygiene, to write them a letter, maybe a few snacks if they have a bad meal. But don't have your family send enough money that you're getting the biggest draw that you can get every time you go to the canteen. Or you're sending money to other people's books, having them draw down for you, because this makes people see you getting these packages sent in. If you can have packages and people are mailing your books and you're getting the biggest draw you can get every time the canteen's open, and people say, that guy's got money. And that'll make you a target. Your family's trying to help you, but what they do by helping you too much is put an X on your back. And so don't show that you've got too much money, because when I did that, my mom was sending me money, my grandma was sending me money. So guys would come and talk me into trying drugs, talk me into borrowing from people's stores, borrow Debbie's from them, or candy bars, 2 for $3 or 3 for $5. Help me get in debt. On my word, people know I'm going to pay because I look like a little old young guy. They think he's going to pay because he don't want to fight. Because you will have to fight if you don't pay, whether it's just 2 soups for $3 back. If 3 soups is about 54 cents, and you'll have to fight over that 54 cents if you don't have it. So you don't want to borrow from people, and you don't want to make it known that you got a lot of money, because these guys go help you get in debt, and then when it comes time to pay it, it's all on you. And so they helped me get these drugs and taught me how to do these drugs and got me liking drugs so I could pay for them and we could all get high. And that happened a lot of times. And I got in debt over poker a lot of times. And my mom, I don't know where she got the money, but between her and my family, they all pitched in and got me out of a lot of spots that I was in. And I'm ashamed of it. Been ashamed of it my whole life. My mom would bail me out of a spot and I would be so ashamed that I would sit in my cell and literally cry over it. And the next thing you know, I was right back in the same spot. And people think because you're getting a lot of debt in prison that it's from all, that it must be from hard drugs. It must be meth. It must be heroin. It must be hard drugs. But it's not. Things are so expensive in prison that if you go borrow $10 in canteen to buy a joint, because sometimes you may pay $10 for a toothpick-sized joint, because you're really stressing, you're really upset, and you're trying to escape this place for a little while, and you go borrow $10 for 15 back and buy that joint, and then you don't have that 15 and it turns to 22, and the next thing you know you owe hundreds of dollars, but all you ever borrowed was, $40-50 in canteen maybe, and the rest is interest. Or maybe it's all for just a little bitty pinch of weed that you've paid way too much for because you're in prison and things cost more, and people are out to make a dollar off of you every chance they could get. So now me and Dave, we've tried to get this meth in. I've sent my old lady to spend the night with a girl in a motel, and that didn't work out. They tried to scheme us on that. And Dave threatened this guy and got it back. It's got so bad, our parents are not going to be able to pay for this. We owe too much. We're going to have to use drugs to pay it off because otherwise it would take too much cash money. And our family don't have that much money. We just got this $250. So what ends up happening is, and I can tell you this story because the people done got in trouble, and we done all got in trouble over it. So there's this lady that works in the laundry, and she worked in the laundry. She wasn't a guard. She was a staff member that was over the laundry. And she ended up, she was a homosexual. She was married to another woman. They had adopted a couple kids, and she wasn't getting paid a lot there. She ends up making real good friends with this guy that she trusts that works in the laundry, an inmate there. And he talks her into bringing in wheat and stuff. And what he talks her into is she'll bring in a quarter pound for $200. But she'll bring in 5, 6, 7, or 8 ounces, which is up to 8 ounces for an extra 50. So $250 for up to a half a pound. Up to 12 for $350. She'll bring in a whole pound of wheat. She'll take this little old ice chest, just pack that sucker full, a thermos full, just hard as she can, full of weed and prepackaged ounces, sneak it in there to us. So that's end up how we end up getting out. So I go to this Indian guy, the one that ended up saving me at McAllister. He had a way of getting weed out in the streets, but we didn't have a way to get it in. But this guy, Joe, comes to me and says, man, I know you guys can get stuff in, but do you have any way to get weed? Because I got a way to get weed in. So he won't tell me which staff is bringing it, but he tells me that he has a staff that will bring this weed in for me if I can get it and have it dropped off. Well, we got $250. We got nowhere to get no weed. So I end up hooking up with that guy, Billy, the guy that saved me in McAllister, the Indian guy whose dope I ran with the first time I was here. My wife gets a hold of this girl I'm visiting, Shelly. I thought that I was married to her, and that's another story, but this girl gets a hold of Billy's wife. She sells her a quarter pound for $250. My girl wraps it up in 4 ounces and goes and drops it off for this lady that works in the laundry. The lady that works in the laundry brings it to Joe. Joe sneaks it down to me. He lives on the yard with me. He sneaks it to me. I got to give him a half ounce. That leaves me 3.5. Now, on the yard at the time, you could go up to Votech, and there's people who cash money because they came from Joe Harp and from the Lexington Trustee Bill. And we all went to Votech together. If that was your job, to go to Votech, you go up there from 8 till lunch. Then you go back after lunch to about 3 o'clock. And that's how you got Votech classes there on the medium security yard. Lexington Medium Security and people at Joe Hart Medium Security would ride a bus over. And it was like part of the medium security yard, but it was fenced by itself up the hill. And the minimum security guys at Lexington, they would come in there too. So you have 3 different prisons meeting there. And if you wanted to buy some weed, it was known that you could send your green money up to Votech and they could get you an ounce of weed for $200. So me and Dave were going to Votech at the time. So what we did is we went up to Votech and we sold an ounce for $200. We had within 24 hours to get this lady in the laundry's money. So we give half ounce to Joe. We go up to Votech, sell an ounce for $200. We give that to Joe to give to the lady. That left us 2.5 ounces. We took 1.5 ounces of that and we sold it for green money, and we paid Tommy some of his money, and the black guy that we borrowed from, the other loan shark we borrowed from on 3 that was doing life, he loaned green money. But all these little young black guys would go jump on you for him. So it's important to get him paid. So we made a payment to him, and we took the rest of that little weed out of that ounce and a half and go spread it out. We kept 1 ounce, because 1 ounce, here's what you could do. I needed $300 back to get another quarter pound. That would give my old lady $50 for gas to visit, give us $250 to get another quarter pound, pay the rest of it off, and start saving up money and getting our own thing going. That was the plan. Okay, so what we do to get this $300, we only have 1 ounce left, and it's only worth $200 if you go sell it all at one time. But what you can do is you can break it down and make it up in caps. And I've talked about this before, but you take the lid off of a chapstick cap. You grind the weed up real good, and then you just take that chapstick cap and dip it in there and dump that in. And you've seen plastic gloves like people wear when they take care of food, the clear ones. So you take that chapstick cap, do that, you make your little funnel, and you'll have somebody sitting there with a funnel in the glove, and he'll stick the glove in this finger, and you'll drop that cap in that funnel, it'll go down in that finger, tie it off, tear it off the finger, and throw it down. That's a cap. You go through 5 fingers, that's 5 of them. Okay, tear them off the glove, throw the glove away, keep that little bitty ball of weed that's down in the bottom of that finger in that knot. And those are caps of weed. And if you sell those for cash money or transfer, someone giving it to your wife or mailing it to your wife, then it's 3 for $10 bill. You can get about 90 caps out of an ounce if you make them full caps, but most people only fill them half or 3/4 of the way. I had a reputation for making them what they call white boy caps, Ricky Dye caps. They'd say that because a lot of times black guys would come and buy the weed from me. Then they would go get their hustle on, man. They'll break them in half and still sell them for the same amount I was selling for, but wait until I run out. And then people, that was all there was left to buy. Not just the black guys, other white guys doing it, Mexican guys doing it. But the black guys always call them white boy caps. They say Ricky Dye makes them white boy caps. So, because I make them big, I always make them big. So I make up 90 of them. And with 90 of them, if instead of selling them for 3 for 10, I can sell each one of them for 5 packs a piece. So if I sell 90 caps for 5 packs a piece, that's 450 packs of cigarettes. And in a week's time, with 1,500 people, you could do that back then. So I made up 90 caps, sold every one of them 5 packs a piece. At the end of the week, you're not allowed to have all those cigarettes in your cell, though. You can have a couple cartons, and that's all you can supposed to have, unless you got canteen slips showing where you got receipts where you drew that stuff down. Otherwise, if the guards come in your cell and see it, they'll take it from you. So we spend all week. I got different people running around selling these caps on every unit for 5 packs a piece, and I got cigarettes in all kinds of people's lockers stashed. And then you could go to visit Friday and Monday were free visits. I could visit Friday and Monday night, visit my girlfriend. And then Saturday or Sunday, I could visit my girlfriend. And the other day, I could visit my mom. So I could visit all 4 days, but one person could only visit 3. They could visit Friday, Saturday, Monday, or Friday, Sunday, and Monday, and someone else could visit that other day. So what I would do is have my girlfriend come Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and every day she come out there in the visiting room. Your visitor is allowed to bring $20 worth of quarters. And then you can eat on that while you're in the visiting room in the vending machines. But a lot of guys, when they get a visit, they'll have their family bring $20 in quarters in, but they'll try not to eat that much. And at the end of the visit, they'll go around and find to see if there's anybody selling cigarettes for quarters in the visiting room. If you can find someone selling cigarettes for quarters in the visiting room, you can get cigarettes, name brand cigarettes on the yard that cost a lot more than $1. Cools, Marlboros, Camels. You can buy those from people on the yard if you catch someone selling for $1 a pack in the visiting room. So what I would do is I would sell those 450 packs, $1 a pack for quarters, Friday night, Saturday, and Monday. And my old lady would walk out there with her pocket and her purse is full of quarters, man. But she'd go to the bank, change them in. And I did that, and I came up with $250 to get another quarter pound of weed and gave her 50 for gas and running around and taking care of this. And when I got that next quarter pound in, we went around and paid all of our bills and took 1 ounce that we had left over and sold it for 450 packs again and got us another one. So what ends up happening is we get away with this for quite a while. And then there's this kid running around the yard. His name is Kevin. And Kevin has went around and he's gotten debt the way we did. He owes a bunch of people. He's gotten debt for drugs. He's in debt for poker. He owes a lot of people money. And He's like we were. He has some money. He has like $400 or $500 that he could pay, but that's not enough to pay everybody. It's enough to make a dent in it. But what happens is if you only pay some people, then they put interest on you, then you don't ever get it paid. You still owe that all that money because they tax you. And if you just go pay a few people, then the people you don't pay feel like you're treating them like a punk. So you got to pay everybody or you got to pay nobody, man. I've been in situations where I had to go around to everybody. Look here, I'm not catching out. I'm not going to go tell the police I need help. I'm not leaving no matter what. I'm running around here carrying a knife because I think people are going to jump on me. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to pay all y'all as soon as I get the money. But just one of y'all jump on me and you ain't going to have to worry about money no more because we're not going to be here anymore. But I'm not going to leave. If you just wait, I'll pay you. I've had to do that. And that's a stressful way to live. And it's scary when you owe the wrong people money and you have to go tell them that you'll pay them when you can, but you're not leaving and you'll stand up for yourself. That's scary because for some reason in prison, you can have a guy and you're all right with him and he never been in a fight in his life, never heard of him being in a fight in prison. You go borrow $2 from that man and owe him 3 back, and he immediately starts acting like he can whoop you, like he has to act tougher than you so you'll pay him his money. That's just how everybody acts. It's ridiculous. And when men are reduced to being in a cage, left to their own devices, you would not believe that the way they act like animals, because that's what they do. They're reduced to animals. They take away your name and they give you a number, and you're no longer a person anymore. So me and Dave were hustling like that. And since I had so many problems when I was real young in there with people trying to mess with me about the gay stuff, if I seen a kid come in that was real young, now that I think I'm kind of somebody and I'm selling drugs and everything else, if I see a kid coming in and he's having a lot of problems, seems like, and if I think he'll stand up for himself, I kind of try to pull him up and look out for him. And I'll tell him, hey man, that dude there, he's going to try to screw you. That dude there, he's trying to get your money, blah, blah, blah. So these dudes start saying I'm pouring salt. So all of a sudden, they start saying, now they used to say that I was the one gay. I was going to be the girl. But now, since I'm trying to look out for these kids, now they're saying that I'm screwing these kids because I'm trying to look out for them. I ain't much older than them myself, and some of them are older than me. I've just been in here a few years now, so I know more what's going on. So people will say anything about you. And that's one thing I used to worry about, everything that was said about me. I want to know who said it. I'm trying to track it down. I want to fight whoever said it. And finally, I realized, man, they talk bad about Jesus and he came to save the world. So what can I expect them to say about me, really? So I don't care what other people say as long as they don't come say it to my face or not run around putting a bad rap on me where I have to do something about it. And you can say what you want, man. I don't really care. Like these videos, I'm doing the best I can to try to help somebody. And I hope people enjoy watching them. But I can't please everybody. So if I can't please you on it, you can fast forward on the video, and you, much as I hate to say it, you don't have to watch. If it doesn't interest you, maybe the video isn't for you. As much as I hate to say that, because I do want people to take something from this video to see that after all the rough life that I've lived, I'm still happy today, and I want people to take something from that and know that you can be too. Things always get better. Things always change. The only thing for sure in life is nothing stays the same, man. Same guy you meet on your way down will be the same guy you see on your way up. So always try to remember the little guy when you're on your way up. You might meet him again on your way down. No one ever does all the good and no one ever does all the bad. And that's just how life is. You might need someone's help tomorrow. You never do know just because you're making it good today. And so I want to thank everybody who's checked these videos out. In the next video, I'm going to tell you about how I ended up in lockup from helping Kevin Rash. But this video has been about 20 minutes. And so I don't want to make them extra long. I know some people like them a little longer, but there's other people that they don't have a lot of time, but they want to drop in and watch it. I know everyone don't see what I see on the analytics, but people usually watch between 12 and 15 minutes and they kind of tune out. So that's the reason I try to keep them around 15 or 20 minutes. I will go to 30 if I'm in the middle of a story, but because I'm kind of at a pausing point, don't want to start another one now. It would go over 30. So I hope to see you in the next one. Hope you chose to pick up your blessings today. Thank every one of you guys who tune in and watch my videos, especially you guys who have subscribed. Where I was at 777 when I started this video, and need 1,000, and they'll make me a YouTube partner. I can put some positive things up in the shop, and people who want to support the channel can buy T-shirts, coffee cups, sweats, and I want to put nice stuff in there. When you buy it, you won't see anything cheap, and we will get there. In the meantime, guys, keep jumping in the comments. Send me a friend request on Facebook. If you have any long questions that are too long for the comments, hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Remember, I got the Discord going for any questions at all. Join us on the Discord. All these links are in the tags. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.